think your 9 to 5 job is holding you from building financial wealth and freedom? Think again. It could actually be the launching pad you need to build financial freedom, financial independence, and long-term wealth. But only if you use it well. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my personal story of how I leveraged my 9 to 5 job to build my net worth. I'm giving you 5 reasons your 9 to 5 job is the key to financial independence. Reason number 1, stability. Your 9 to 5 job will offer you something that most side hustles or even side businesses and even honestly a real business doesn't offer you. That is consistent, stable income coming in and week out. And that stability translates into real dollars. And I'm speaking from my personal experience. Believe me, hear me out here. I have been chasing the dream since I was very young. I have been chasing the entrepreneurial dream for well over 2 decades. Right out of high school, I joined an MLM. I started selling Avon. And I remember telling myself, I'm a businesswoman. I had business cards. I went on and bought all of these different products that I sold to no one, and they just expired in our house. If you know, you know. And right after college, I did it again. I invested in another business. This time, it wasn't an MLM. I was like, I'm going to start my own thing from scratch. I started a mobile spa business. And in this mobile spa business, I will go to people's home and I will do all of these services for them. However, very quickly, I got burned out with the job because I was working a full-time job and running this business, and I didn't have the bandwidth for it. That was also another opportunity that was a fail, but I learned a lot about myself and about running a business. However, even with this failed business, right, with all of these things, I still had like a real job that was bringing in money. So as each business was failing, I still had money coming in from a real job. So after my failed business right after college, I think about 4 or 5 years later, I ended up buying my first rental property. And that's when it hit me. My full-time job was the reason I had bought this first rental property. I found myself being a 30-something-year-old single female with 2 homes. And these weren't tiny little homes, you guys. These were beautiful 4-bedroom, 2,000 square foot homes that I owned. I realized that everything I did to be able to get the mortgage, eventually being able to have the money to turn that property into an Airbnb that allowed me to survive during the pandemic when everybody else was struggling, all of that was possible because of my full-time job. For the first time in my life, this girl who was addicted to side hustle and her whole life only wanted to be an entrepreneur and a businesswoman started shifting her thinking. No, I have never stopped thinking about building my own business and being an entrepreneur. And actually on this channel, you continue to see me making progress towards that journey. But what shifted in my head is how I saw my 9 to 5 job. For the first time in my life, I moved away from thinking my 9 to 5 job was a noose around my head. My 9 to 5 job was suffocating. It wasn't worth much. I needed to get out of it as quickly as possible, to thinking, how do I make as much money into my 9 to 5 job as possible so that I can continue experimenting until I build that thing that is stable? And all of that happened because my 9 to 5 job gave me the financial stability to be able to weather all of these storms, to make all of these mistakes and learn along the way. This actually leads me to the second reason why I think your 9 to 5 job is your key to financial success and long-term stability. That is skill development. When you have a 9 to 5 job, that is the best time for you to be experimenting. Not only are you using your 9 to 5 job to learn critical skills, If you have the type of 9 to 5 job that enables you to be able to have training, free education, you are leveraging all of it to build up your skills. But at the same time, when you're building up your side business and you have a 9 to 5 job, what happens here is that you have the freedom to make those mistakes, to fail, but at the same time, you are not expanding your own personal capital in the same way that you would if you had your own business. In my case, I leveraged every opportunity I've had in my jobs in order to develop myself professionally. In my case, I took advantage of every part of that 9 to 5 job, and I leveraged every single education, training, job improvement opportunity they had to develop my skill set. While I was building my rental income, my company offered us the opportunity to get tuition reimbursement. I got 2 graduate degrees while working at that company. The same company enabled us to be able to have, there was a, what we call like a learning library that had all kinds of classes on leadership, all kinds of classes on team building, all kinds of classes on different types of skill development. I took advantage of every single one of them. And today, guess what? I lead a team of several freelancers. Actually, the skills that I developed in my full-time job, taking those courses on team building, leadership, I'm now leveraging in my own side business as I've hired several freelancers. I know how to manage my team in my side business because I learned it from my full-time job. So not only did I take advantage of every educational opportunity to advance my skills, I also took advantage of every other benefits and perks. Reason number 3, benefits and perks. I grew up with a family that really didn't have a real traditional American 9 to 5 job. And even whatever job my parents had back in Africa, they had these benefits, but I mean, when I was too young to even fully understand it. Now that I'm older, it's when my parents are like, oh yeah, we had these benefits too. But in America, when we moved here, most of my young adulthood or my teen years, my parents were college students. So I watched 2 grown adults who were primarily college students. I really didn't know anything about corporate life and how to take advantage of all the benefits of corporate life until I got into a real big girl corporate Fortune 500 company, and I realized, wait, they had all these different perks. The company I worked for, we had a cafeteria in our building. So instead of me having to drive outside of the company if I didn't bring my lunch, I would just eat in the office. So it drastically, and because you're eating in the work cafeteria, the prices are a little bit more reasonable. You don't have to pay gas money to drive to a restaurant. So that's a little bit of money in your pocket, right? It's better, of course, if you're cooking and bringing your own food. And I did bring my own food most of the time, but every once in a while, I wanted to eat something that someone else cooked for me. So it did save me money. Another perk we had in our building, we had a credit union. Because we were a large company, we had partnership with a credit union. And that credit union had an office in our building. So not only was it, you didn't have to go to an actual location to handle any of your banking. We all know that having a credit union gives you better rates on your loans. But with us having it through a company, we got even better rates than we would get at other credit unions. So that is something else that I took advantage of. Another perk I took advantage of in my company was that we had a small doctor's office inside of our little campus. Anytime you weren't feeling well, you could just go to her. Not only will she examine you for free, but so long as you needed a non-narcotic or a basic medication like basic antibiotics, or you have a headache, a little bit of higher strength Tylenol and stuff like that, she will provide that for you. And that saved you from the copay money, and it saved you from having to pay some of that medicine out of pocket, but it also saved you gas money to drive to the doctor's office. So you see how, right? This is not life-changing money that I'm saving, but it's still money in my pocket. And another perk we had in that company was the gym. We had an actual gym in our building with classes. They would pay for group instructors to come teach us Zumba, yoga, and different types of group fitness classes. And I took advantage of every single one. Along with all of these benefits that actually were on site, we had benefits that were off site, right? So you could get online, there were portals that would give you free therapy sessions. You could get free personal coaching. There were limitations, but you had access to them. But the most important thing I took advantage of that I mentioned earlier was the tuition reimbursement. You could get your tuition reimbursed so long as you did well. You got an A or B, you got 100% of your tuition reimbursed. So your girl wrote down all of these benefits and took advantage of every single one of them. And these perks are not just good when it comes to saving you money, but in the case of the education, it allowed me to develop the skill set that I ended up leveraging to the tune of over 6 figures boost in salary in less than 5 years. You heard that. You heard that. Reason number 4 of why I believe that your full-time job is your key to financial success and long-term wealth is time. Hear me out on this one, you guys. If you think your 9-to-5 job doesn't give you work-life balance, let me tell you about being an entrepreneur, honey. Oh, I woke up today. It's 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've been up since 4 o'clock filming YouTube videos, planning out YouTube videos, putting on my makeup so that I can be in front of you to talk to you. Being an entrepreneur is 24/7. I went to bed around 10 o'clock, woke up around 3 o'clock, and I'm probably going to go to bed again around 10 o'clock today. You are always doing something. You see, when you have a 9-to-5 job, you are primarily responsible for doing the work. And as soon as you're done doing your work, what happens? You most likely go home, you put your feet up, you spend time with your family, you go hang out with your friends to eat, to your favorite restaurant, you go to a concert, you're enjoying life. But when you are the entrepreneur, you are now responsible for winning the work and doing the work. So you're not just a person who, yes, you're actively doing the work. If you have a product making business, most likely you are physically involved in making the product. If you have a service business, most likely you are involved in providing that service directly to your customers. But you're also responsible for making sure that those customers are flooding to your door. That is called winning the work. And winning the work, trust me, is a lot more stressful and requires a lot more of your time than just doing the work. And when you have to do both of them together, which is what us solopreneurs have to do, even if you hire somebody who's helping you a little bit here and there, like I do, you're still doing most of the work yourself. So the demand on your time as an entrepreneur is significantly higher. And this is why having a 9-to-5 job takes the cake, because you actually get your time back. And you know what we advocate for you to do with that time back? You leverage it to build that side business, which is what I'm doing right now. I'll be done here at about 8 o'clock. I'm already ready to go for work meetings. Reason number 5 is risk. Let's talk about reason number 5. And this is probably, you guys, the most important reason why your 9-to-5 is a financial asset, and you are better off having some sort of 9-to-5 job rather than being an entrepreneur or just being an entrepreneur. You guys, I love definitions. When I was doing this write-up, I Googled what the definition of a risk is. Webster defines a risk as a situation involving exposure to danger, to expose someone or something valued to danger, harm, or loss. This is really important. If you have dreams of being a 9-to-5 job, you need to have the word danger, right? For all the people who are like, I'm going to quit my 9-to-5 job, no plan, I'm just going to go out there and run my own business. Danger, 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 right? You are exposing yourself and other people to potential risk or danger. Having a 9-to-5 job eliminates that danger. And when you have a 9-to-5 job and you're working that business on the side, just like me, when I bought my first rental property, converted that property into an Airbnb, and then the pandemic came and we had like 2 or 3 months of no income, and we had to improvise and look for different ways to either make money or spend a lot of money to safely welcome people into our homes. I was okay because I had a cushion. I had money that was coming in. It reduced my risk in that moment. But people who were just entrepreneurs and didn't have anything else exposed themselves to really great risk. The good thing is now everything is good. We're back to normal. We're enjoying life. But nevertheless, your 9-to-5 job is such an asset. Disclaimer before I close out this video. I get it. I am not the person who would sit here and tell you that a 9-to-5 job is rosy. You have no challenges. It's not toxic. People are not full of you know what. And that corporate is not a cesspool of insecurity, fear, etc. But let me tell you, whatever challenges you have today in your 9-to-5 jobs is dwarfed by the challenges you will have as an entrepreneur. By learning how to deal with challenges with a 9-to-5 job, and by doing what I teach you and tell you guys all the time, build it on the side while you have a 9-to-5 job, you are in a much better position than just quitting your job and going to entrepreneurship. Because the headaches you have here with the 9-to-5 job, you will have maybe not the same, but you will still have equally, if not more and bigger challenges as an entrepreneur. But the difference is your risk is a lot higher as an entrepreneur. And your family's well-being will be significantly more impacted. Being an entrepreneur and having your own business is so worth it. Just do it smart by leveraging your 9-to-5 job. And that is the whole purpose of this video. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I'm here to download my knowledge, my personal experience, my wins, my failures, my challenges, all of it to you. I hope to see you in the next video where I'm going to be sharing with you guys money-making opportunities, real, true money-making opportunities, most of which are things that I've personally participated in. It's going to be a whole course teaching and training you on shifting your thinking from saving, cutting back here, cutting back there, into income, and more income. I look forward to seeing you in that video. Please hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos like this. Like, comment. Out of all of these things that I talked about today, is there anything that resonated with you? Do you think this whole thing is bullshit? And that you don't believe we should have 9-to-5, just quit your job and go to entrepreneurship? Whatever it is, I want to hear from you. So please do reach out to me and let me know in the comments below. Or do you have other things that you believe could be an asset that I may have missed today? Thank you guys all so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.